You have lowered the bar a lot. You have allowed yourself to have days where you do no work. You know those days or those nights where you set the alarm at 6 a.m. and you're thinking, I'm gonna wake up. I'm planning on doing work or outreach or whatever it is for 4 hours. So it's gonna be 10 a.m. and I would have done everything I've wanted to do. And I'm gonna feel good about myself and my day's gonna get off to such a good start, and then I'm gonna go to the gym, I'm gonna eat a healthy breakfast, etc., etc. You know that feeling when you're so excited about tomorrow, so excited, and you've set the alarm, you've set the intention, and then the night comes, you go to bed. Maybe it's later than you hoped it would be. But anyways, you hear the alarm, you get out of bed, you turn it off, and then you end up walking back into bed. This was my reality for a good 2 months. I would literally want to wake up early, want to do the work, but I'd find myself just unconsciously getting back into bed. I'd find myself just getting back in there and falling back asleep, and then it'd be 10 a.m., 9 a.m. I would have missed the 3 or 4 hours I was hoping to do of work. Now this is why this is important to you, because you aren't where you want to be. And a big part of that is because you're mismanaging your time. And I'm not here to give you a productivity tactic or anything like that. What I'm here to tell you though is there's certain things you have to do during your day. For a lot of you, that's going to be outreach, maybe it's making YouTube videos, wherever it is, you're 20%, right? You guys know that principle, the 80-20 principle. I'm sure you are. A lot of my viewers are very smart, thank God. And this principle is telling you exactly what to do during your work hours. You don't have to do anything else other than that 20%, right? But a lot of us don't do it. And I really want to focus on this idea of waking up on time and doing the things you've promised yourself to do, because for me, it's the most important part. It's kind of the premise of self-trust. It's the premise of self-respect, which is what I'm going to be talking about today. And if you guys don't know me, my name is Fedi Lecamus. I'm here to help you optimize your mind for success, to make sure that you stop procrastinating, that you get your goal with a guaranteed method, and that method being in your mind, right? So, if you enjoy the video, leave it a thumbs up. Obviously, it hasn't really started yet, but leave it a thumbs up if you enjoy the video. Feel free to subscribe, brothers. But anyways, let's jump into it. Self-respect is the premise, is the most important part of you developing yourself. And what I mean by that is you can't really go that far if you don't respect yourself, because you'll end up making progress, but then you just dip back down to the minimum that you've allowed yourself to go, if that makes sense. Because none of us are the best versions of ourselves. All of us are the medium. We're the average, if you will. We're the average between our best self and our worst self, our best self and our worst self. Where do we stand? We kind of stand in the middle. That's who we are, right? If someone were to describe Fedi, they wouldn't describe Fedi at making 5k a month, 6k a month. They wouldn't describe Fedi at making 500 a month, 1k a month. They describe me in the middle, because that's where I am most of the time. You have a description for you on every little section that you do during your life. Because this is the thing. You have lowered the bar a lot. You have allowed yourself to have days where you do no work. Days where you go back to maybe touching yourself. Days where you go back to going on Instagram. Days where you go back to watching TikToks for hours. Days where you go back to watching YouTube content for no reason. You've allowed that, and it all stems from self-respect. You see, I keep getting asked questions by my students. It's like, what do I do if? And they give me a scenario, whether it be, what do I do if I don't feel motivated? What do I do if I this? What do I do if that? And my first question is, okay, have you been reading your vision? When they tell me, yes, I've been reading my vision, right? I've been feeling these good emotions, I've been kind of visualizing, etc., etc. The first thing that comes to my mind is, well, what do you think of yourself? And, you know, they get stuck, we end up having a 20, 15-minute conversation about that. And then what we end up realizing is the self-respect is lacking. You see, if you don't respect yourself, 1, you cannot take the right actions, and 2, people won't respect you. I'm gonna focus on the first one for a bit. Number 1, if you don't take the right actions, you'll find yourself that it's because you don't respect yourself. Really quickly, guys, I think my tripod might have moved a bit. Let me just put it back there. There you go, my apologies. If you find yourself not doing the actions you want to do, it's because you don't respect yourself. Some of you wake up at 6 a.m. to go work 9 to 5. You wake up at 6 a.m. for someone else. Why is that? Because you respect them. But you don't wake up at 6 a.m. for you. Why is that? Because you don't respect yourself. It's honestly that simple. You don't do the outreach for yourself. But if you were in a sales position for someone else, you would do it. Why is that? Because you don't respect yourself. You don't have the same respect you do for a CEO as you would for you. But guess what? You're the CEO of your business. You're the CEO of your life. A lot of you don't have this right identity. This is what it's all about. You guys don't see yourself as someone who should be respected. You don't see yourself as someone who does outreach. You don't see anything positive about yourself sometimes. All of this stems from you not respecting yourself. Look, I cannot frame it in any other way. If you want a quick fix for this, just understand the reality of things. 1, You were created by God. You started off as simply, not necessarily a thought, but just, you started off from nothing. The fact that you're here today was the fact that you were chosen to be born. And who chose that? God. So if you don't respect yourself, respect the fact that you were created. Secondly, is respect the opportunities you have and respect the commitment that you put towards those opportunities. Thirdly, is respect your potential. This one's my favorite one, lads, right? This one, my favorite one. Respect your potential, guys. You know you have that potential within you. You know that. So what do you do about it? If you respect it, if you think to yourself, you know what? I know I can get to 10K a month. I know I can. This is, I just feel it. I don't know how. I keep procrastinating. I keep doing this, but I know I can make it. Well, guess what? If you respected that thought enough, if you held it in your mind long enough, waking up at 6 a.m. would be easy. Doing the outreach for 4 hours, 5 hours would be easy because you respect the idea and in turn you respect yourself for having that potential, for having that idea. And secondly, when it comes to others, and this is something I used to have a lot, on sales calls, I would be absolutely ass, right? When I used to have my agency, I would be terrible, 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 terrible. Absolutely ass. And I know I keep saying it, right? It's probably going to be 30 seconds of me describing how terrible I was, but I generally was so bad. And the main thing I found, it wasn't my script. Like my script was fine. Like I paid for a 10K program to have this script and everything. It was my self-respect. No program teaches you about self-respect in their mindset modules. But I'm telling it to you now for free. Have respect for yourself, for your product, for your business, and you will have the utmost conviction when it comes to sales calls. Every time my student asks me, well, Fedi, I don't really want to do outreach because I don't know how to deliver. I don't know how to do this, the delivery. I don't know how to give them the results. So the first question I ask them is, well, would you stay up till 2 a.m. trying to make sure they get results when you close them? Say yes. Like, well, there you go then. You have the respect for yourself, for the contract you signed. You have respect for your client, so you would do these things. That's when the conviction comes from. It comes from the fact that you respect yourself. You know you can do this. You know it. So brothers, your action step would be to just be honest with yourself. In what areas of life do you not really respect yourself? Some of you won't admit this. And for those that don't admit it, you've probably already clicked off the video anyways. But for those of you that aren't going to admit it and be honest with yourself, just stop watching me. Generally, all my viewers, thank God, are very, very smart, as I said, right? So if you're someone who can't admit the truth to themselves and then improve it, you're not going to really get anywhere. You're just going to keep lying to yourself and others. But anyways, to reiterate my points, just to make it clear, the action step is for you to look into your life and see, what am I doing wrong? And what is my self-image around this? Do I respect myself in this domain? If you're doing it wrong, then the most likely answer is no. And therefore you have to look on how to fix it. Anyways, Jazakumullah khair, brothers. If you're interested in working one-on-one with me to make sure that you get to your goal of 10K a month, because you know what to do, you know the systems, even if you don't, I'll show you how. But you know the systems. The thing holding you back is you. And I want to help you fix that. Optimize your mind for success, as I like to say. Getting rid of procrastination, any mindset blocks, making sure you do the work and everything. Anyways, Jazakumullah khair. God bless you all. I'll see you very, very soon. And leave a like if you enjoyed the video. Leave a thumbs down if you didn't. Leave me a comment with any ideas, because I do look at them. Obviously, I'm not that big of a YouTuber. But I do look at them, and I tend to make videos on whatever people talk about. And subscribe if you think I'm awesome. If you don't, then bugger off. I'm joking. Take care, guys.